My name's Afshin Irani, and I'm from HR College of Commerce and Economics. So my question to you is, why is Pakistan so important and allied to America, so far as America has never called it a terrorist state?
Pakistan is an enormous country. It is a strategically important country, not just for the United States, but for the world. It is a country whose people have enormous potential, but it is also right now a country that within it has some of the extremist elements that we discussed in the first question. And so it may be surprising to some of you to hear me say this, but I'm absolutely convinced that the country that has the biggest stake in Pakistan's success is India. I think that if Pakistan is unstable, that's bad for India.
In 2010, when the former US president came to India and interacted with the students, Afshin Irani, one of the students, who questioned the former American president, was lauded for having the bravery to ask a challenging question that compelled the American president to break his silence on Pakistan. At the time, this was a huge matter, due to the fact that the United States has vested interests in Pakistan, and thus, questions like this were never answered. When asked how she felt after asking Obama the difficult question, she responded that, despite Obama's lengthy explanation and the diplomatic way in which he answered it, she was not convinced by his response, and neither are we. US military aid to Pakistan has always been related to security imperatives, while the country's political and economic well-being has been overlooked. Pakistan received $2 billion from 1953 to 1961 as a Cold War ally. During the war, Pakistan used American-origin fighters against India. The amount of US military aid to Pakistan, since 9/11, most of it from coalition support funds to reimburse Pakistan for its help in the war on terror. $3.1 billion allocated to economic and development aid, including food aid, during the same period. The US budget proposes selling Pakistan $1 billion in attack helicopters, missiles, and other defense equipment in 2015. When the 9/11 attacks occurred in the United States, Pakistan was in a tense state. General Pervez Musharraf, who had seized power in a military coup, had just been elected president and was requesting US aid for his government. Pakistan's commitment to the invasion of Afghanistan was important in securing American military aid. And now Pakistan establishment, on the other hand, argue that the country's economy has lost more than $150 billion in the last 20 years because it sided with the US as a frontline state after the 9/11 attacks in New York and Washington. Many Pakistani think tanks urged the administration against siding with the United States. However, they did. India was aware of the dangers, therefore when the Bush administration pressed India to join forces, India rejected the offer categorically. Is Pakistan safer with this aid? Report published by American Progress states. From 2003 to 2007, the number of people killed by terrorism in Pakistan rose from 189 to 3,599. 63% of Pakistanis questioned in June 2008 felt less safe than a year earlier. 86% of Pakistanis respondents said their country was moving in the wrong path. 72% of Pakistanis respondents said their economic position had worsened in the past year. The USA is fooling no one, definitely not to India. The long-held belief that the United States should maintain Pakistan as a regional balancer against India is still very much alive and well. Recent sales of F-16 maintenance components demonstrate this. The US continues to supply Pakistan with highly sophisticated military equipment, despite the fact that these weapons are extremely unfit for use against terrorists, but are quite suitable for use against India. Let me prove you why. The US government has given Pakistan 8 P-3C Orion maritime patrol aircraft, 2,000 anti-armor missiles, Stinger man-portable air defense missiles, F-16 fighter jets, 59 T-37 trainer jets, 1 missile frigate, 6 TPS-77 surveillance radars, 20 Cobra attack helicopters, and other weapons. All of these weapons look like too much for terrorists. Is it because the terrorist organization in Pakistan is so technologically advanced that it has tanks, fighter jets, and naval force at its disposal? And Pakistan needs new weapons from the US to fight these technologically advanced extremists. Or, it's possible that what they actually want is for Pakistan to become a balance to India's power. For example, the P-3C Orion is a capable aircraft for anti-submarine warfare. In addition, Pakistan possesses Harpoon Block II missiles developed by the US, which are an anti-ship missile that can operate in all weather and can fly above the horizon. The Harpoon, AGM-84 anti-ship and standoff ground attack missile, is another weapon that this aircraft is capable of carrying. Is it necessary for Pakistan to have these planes so that it can destroy terrorist subs, and do they need missile frigates so that they can destroy terrorist naval forces? They required a man-portable air defense systems like the Stinger to destroying incoming terrorist attack helicopters. Washington had justified the arms deal on grounds of combating terror, but in reality, it is providing deterrence value to Pakistan in case of a future battle with India. Ann Patterson, the then US ambassador to Pakistan, put together a plan for her embassy to ask for an exception so that Pakistan could use American anti-terrorism money to buy F-16s and other upgrades. Patterson wrote in her 20-paragraph communique to Washington on April 24, 2008, which was leaked by WikiLeaks, and gave reasons why the deal should be paid for with US taxpayer money. An improved F-16 program has deterrence value because it gives Pakistan time and space to use a non-nuclear response instead of a nuclear one in the event of a future conflict with India. Some people might argue why Pakistan isn't allowed to buy advanced military weapons if India is free to do so. The answer is that India, unlike Pakistan, has never invaded another country, and has no plans to do so in the foreseeable future. On the other hand, Pakistan has attempted a number of unsuccessful attempts to launch an attack against India, during which it has employed a wide variety of weapons manufactured in the United States. For example, the former Prime Minister, Atal Bihari Vajpayee, always tried to solve the Kashmir issue by extending a hand of friendship to Pakistan. He did this instead of focusing on the sides of the political spectrum of the problem. In February 1999, Vajpayee started the historic bus service between Delhi and Lahore. He did this to start a full-scale diplomatic peace process with Pakistan. In return, India got the Kargil War in May of that same year. Prime Minister Narendra Modi broke diplomatic rules when he paid Pakistan's leader, Nawaz Sharif, a surprise visit to try to fix a strained relationship. This was a big deal back then. In return, India got Pathankot terror attack by Pakistan. After all of the betrayal it has received from Pakistan, India is not interested to make peace with Pakistan anymore, unless Pakistan disband its terrorism policy. On the one hand, the United States is attempting to form a coalition with India in order to counter China's belligerence. And on the other hand, it is playing a double game by supplying Pakistan advanced weapons in order to rival with India.